We up in here today.
What
I
up?
see you, Roy. I see you, Juju. I mean, this is the most in the history of the show. I feel like we setting a record.
Congrats. Congrats.
Affirmative action is in place.
It might be down in the Supreme Court. It is up in the shipping container and in Dan's seat.
Look at us.
What?
Oh.
What
Yeah.
you say? What?
I mean,
This is not for us, Barry.
my first decree on February and August is we gotta get these lights fixed. Why I don't look right on the cameras? Like y'all got these things lit for white folk.
Can you see me over here? Can you see me?
I mean, me and Roy just out here looking like smiles. Y'all need to get.
Are
this
you
together.
saying I look good?
I mean, you look like you.
Okay.
Yeah, you look like they lit the room for you,
Right.
And Dan and my good friend Gregory Cody.
Hello, everybody.
What's happening? I saw you setting up all your ads. You got so many ads over here.
Yeah,
The Greg Cody Show with Greg Cody, not featuring Greg Cody.
that's true.
And then you got what's this? Awk.
Yeah, this is original Lebo art before he was Lebo. Way back in the day, he did this little drawing for some bumper stickers we made, and so it's a collector's item. It's
None of it's on camera. The lower third is blocking
That's okay.
everything that you have.
It's in
So, like,
my
if
heart,
you look at
Billy.
the screen, it's definitely not even.
it's in my heart.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you
Which-
printed it out to keep it in your heart, or
I did.
okay.
Yeah.
Which shirt in the rotation is this? I know you only you have like
Oh, yeah.
6 shirts.
Right. 6 or 8.
So is this at the top of the rotation? This is like early in the week, or this is late in the week?
Okay.
We're in kind of trouble.
The
and now
leadoff
we're-
hitter.
This is a shirt my wife will not allow me to wear out. Like, I cannot go to dinner with her in this shirt. She absolutely hates it.
I love her.
And so I literally only occasionally wear it when I'm not around her.
Well, for the listening audience, it's plaid, right? It's a plaid
Yeah.
shirt with like metal buttons.
Right. I think it's got a sort of a Western
Yeah,
vibe, maybe.
It does, yes.
It does have a Western
You're a cowboy.
vibe.
Yeah.
And in case you guys wanted to know, he's 2 buttons down, giving you some chest, a little
Uh-oh,
sexy.
okay.
Oh,
I know.
2 buttons down.
Greg, how often will you attempt, if you're going out for dinner, to try to wear that shirt just because you know it pisses your wife off?
Oh, I have done that, and she can't not comment on it. Like, literally, she won't let me wear it out. She's like, could you change that shirt, please? She just abhors it.
I have a question for you guys, particularly the dads, because we're talking about fashion. How often do you guys like update your wardrobe or change it? Because like my daughter's starting a new school, and I've already had like 3 events, and like I've gone through like my 3 outfits that I would wear to these events. So I'm like, I think I need to go through the closet and get rid of some of these clothes, and I need like new like dad clothes that I can wear to like these dad events.
I feel like you're asking us, but the flyest person in the organization is sitting right behind you. So, I mean, I
Thanks,
think
Dominique.
Juju.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. I mean, hey, man, look, we're going to talk after. I'm going to get you right. I got you right, brother. I appreciate all your help over the years. People don't see outside the cameras, bro. Billy, he done talked me off the ledge like 100 times, brother. I appreciate you so much. And his daughter was born on my birthday.
That's true.
We are birthday twins, so, bro, I got you. It's free
gonna
of
get you
charge.
right. So
I need some help as well, Juju. I haven't
know
bought
I
a new
got
shirt
you.
in 3 years.
So I think, at least for me, what happened is, and this is probably true of everybody, you like become a little bit more like your spouse or your partner the more time you spend with them. So for much of my life, I didn't care much about how I dressed. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be good at football. That is going to make everything else around me work out. Like, you know what?
I don't like what you're wearing, Dominique. Yeah, but I'm good at football.
Hey, can you run with me, though? We good. Hey, this paper, I said 20 pages. It's only 15. Y'all trying to win on Saturday or not? What are we talking about here? So, but my wife, on the other hand, is very fashionable. And so, I don't know, it's like when she buys new things for herself, sometimes she throw me some scraps. And I throw out the old scraps and I look good.
But I haven't gotten into that yet. Like I am not falling into that
So
place.
I guess the reason why I bring up the spouse is, the only reason why I care is because she cares. And she cares, so then I care. If your spouse is fine with your wardrobe as it is, then who you dressing up for?
Well, because I don't. At this point now, I'm thinking like I don't want to embarrass my child, which I know at some point will be the goal. Like I need to embarrass my child,
No,
like
it's
to
never the
keep
goal.
her like. No, it is.
No,
Like
it's
at some point, it's like
No,
it is.
eventually all you'll have left is embarrassing your
Yeah,
child.
that's the only
it, I'm
sense of
telling you.
control I have. It's
You
like
wake
you're
up in
not
the
going to
morning.
listen to me. Well, then I'm going to go dress like a clown to your school's thing, and then it's like, okay, I'll listen, and then I'll go dress right. You know what I mean?
I like that. In a world where where no one is allowed to hit their children anymore, you find another way to abuse your child by showing up at
yeah.
school.
Emotional, yes.
Emotionally, like I'm gonna dress literally like a clown and sit down at your recital as if that's what I'm supposed to wear.
I can't tell you how many like now targeted ads I'm getting for like chino pants and joggers just because like that's what I'm looking. But also like I'm a thrifty dude. I like to find things on sale, right? But sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then I see like a price like, oh, these like pants are $25. They're normally like $100. This is a great deal, but also like maybe there's a reason they're not selling and now they're $25. So then I'm thinking, do I just go and start buying like one of each of these sale items and then decide I like these? Let me do it. Because this is something that my wife does, and I don't know if you guys are like this. And explain this to me because I can't get in on this. Just ordering a bunch of things, then trying it on and sending it back. It's like I don't like that game of like trying it on and sending it. It's just so much effort. I don't want to do that.
That's definitely a generational thing. I'm not with that. If I bought it online, it's mine. If it don't fit, then it's gonna stay in my closet and
You'll
not
figure
wear it.
something out?
I mean,
Really?
It's mine. I bought it. It shows up. It's mine. I'm not packing it back up. I'm not taking it to the store. If I ordered it, it belongs to me. As
Yeah,
soon
but
as
you
it's-
can return it for something that fits.
I'm not saying it's smart. We all do lots of dumb things. One of the dumb things that I do is when I order something, I'm committed. I'm a man of commitment, right, Jeremy?
It's not only being a man of commitment on what you order, but for me, I just know in advance if I order something online, there's just no way I'm gonna return it. So I'm trying to be as discerning as possible with online shopping, but I'll also go out of my way to go shopping in person, knowing that if I don't like what I buy, I'm going to have to drive 20 minutes to go return it. And yet, for whatever reason, in my head, that math makes more sense.
This is you guys just being lazy. That's
probably-
all.
Well, yeah.
Like, listen, Amazon doesn't make it terribly easy to
Oh
send
no,
stuff back.
Amazon makes
Right.
it really easy to send stuff back.
Oh, they do?
Like
whoa, whoa,
super
whoa, whoa.
duper
Okay.
easy.
I thought we were talking about buying clothes.
Yeah, but you can buy clothes on Amazon.
Amazon.
You can't.
Oh.
Greg
No,
Cody
you
bought
can't.
that shirt at a saloon and the finish.
I use Amazon. I'm a user of Amazon.
I mean,
That's what I am.
I use Amazon also, but
Not for clothes.
I mean, underwear?
Right.
No, I don't even get.
What
my
if the underwear
from
doesn't
Amazon.
fit though? I mean,
I don't get any apparel from Amazon.
Me
It's
either.
not like.
I just want to clarify also, like, my wife's not buying things, wearing it out, and then returning it. Like,
Oh, yeah,
she
I
will
know.
buy things if it
Allegedly.
doesn't fit and then, like, returns it. Like, doesn't wear it out and use that. I hate. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And also, do you guys play the return game on Amazon where you buy something and you go to return and you're like, is this going to be one of those things that Amazon says, just keep it?
Are you making a whole strategy, a whole frugal strategy?
Well, no,
on-
because I actually had, like, one thing that cost $5 and I was going to return it. And I was like, there's no way that they're going to have me return this. Like, they're not going to make me drive all the way to UPS to drop this off. And sure enough, it was one of those things that they made me go back. But then, like, a mailbox holder that I only need one of that came with my mailbox, but I ordered one because I didn't know it came with it. They're like, nah, keep that. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with two of these?
I think they track you. I think that's probably what they do. Or not
Really?
track you. I assume that they keep. I know they do that at Nordstrom. Like you can return a certain amount of items up to a certain without a receipt. Up to a certain number, so they like keep track because you like give them your ID card or whatever. So I think they got a file on you, Billy, and they're like, this dude out here trying to scam us out a couple bucks every couple months. He's
It was
trying
like
to
the
get us.
stupidest thing. It was like a Nintendo Switch, like knob rubber replacement because my daughter bit it off and then it disappeared. And I was like, God, do I need to start checking her poop to see if it's in there?
did you?
I think you did. You needed it. You
You
can't
never
place. I want to go back to your wardrobe concern. I was thinking.
I mean,
about
look at me.
this.
Like, there's
So-
clearly cause for concern.
There's no
You know what I
cause for
mean? Like,
concern.
I'm not gonna even pretend like
You
there
look
isn't.
like a dad, which is fine. You are.
But
a
I've
dad.
looked like these are not clothes that I've bought since having a child. Like I've just had this dad look for 10
So
years
you're in
or
your
so.
prime now.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to change it? You have a little stretch there where you are exactly where you're supposed to be. The only other thing I would suggest is you need to become a gimmick guy. Because that way you can be frugal and people won't pick you out as someone who doesn't know how to dress because they won't think of you as someone who knows how to dress. They'll think of you as the hat guy. You just got to be a gimmick. You got to find one thing, or the guy who wears brooches. Just start putting a $10 brooch on all your shirts, and they're like, "Oh, Billy Gill, brooch dude Billy." And then you go.
I don't think that. I don't
what
think,
they're gonna say?
I don't think Brooch Dude Billy is the way that I want to go. There was a guy and I'm not gonna do this very often, but I'll do it today. There was a guy that we were in like the parent-teacher meeting the teacher thing that had a Fu Manchu, and I was like,
See?
yeah, like no, but that was like
Hold
I
on.
don't need to be gimmick guy.
Hold
like
on.
there's gimmick guy already.
What was
Fu
he
Manchu
wearing?
guy.
What was he wearing? You don't know because he's Fu Manchu guy.
That's all he is.
That's it. He's nailed it. That's the thing. You gotta
Not even focused on his clothes.
Yeah,
Billy.
you find a gimmick and then you're set. Then you don't have to spend any money on clothes because no one's gonna look. They're gonna be like, "Hey, it's Fu Manchu Billy. He's up in here."
But here's the thing, and I know that like I'm in the wrong business for this. I would love to go through my life being anonymous. Like I don't want to be pointed out in like a group or a crowd or like, oh look, there's Broach ass Billy or whatever you called me. I don't remember what it was called. Like
You chose radio and TV, Billy.
Yeah, I know.
No, I mean, in Billy's defense,
but
he did-
performative, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you kind of fell into being like on air personality. That wasn't your goal, was it? Or do I have you mixed up?
No, I mean, yeah, I wanted to grow and do that, right? But sometimes I just want to turn it off. Go be a dad.
Nobody gets that. My wife's finally starting to understand that about me as an introvert is like while I'm full of energy and explosive and talkative on TV, when I get home or in my personal life, I don't got shit to say.
I'm really disappointing.
You said
for
it
the
all
people
already,
around me.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even before I started doing the TV stuff, like as a player, I remember when I was dating my wife, she would be like, why do they get the best version of you? Because like I'm walking in the mall
Jesus
and
Christ.
someone would recognize me. And then, like, I turn it on for 10 minutes. Oh, hey, yeah, thank you, love, support, yeah, thank you so much. Then they leave, and I'm like, ugh.
My wife hates the version of me that people know because she's like, that's not you. Like, you're just not like that. I don't like this. You're just acting up like you're a character.
Acting up.
You're not like an exaggerated version of yourself?
I'm super boring. Like,
You
people
guys are
meet me,
playing
they're
characters?
disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah. Been there, Billy.
What character are you? I want to pick back up, Billy, on your parenting. Now I know that one of your best parenting tactics is to embarrass your child.
Well, not yet. That's
yet?
like that's
No.
like in the chamber for down the road. Like at 2, you can't embarrass your kids yet. At 2, your kids still like idolize you, which is like great. But I know that's gonna end at some point. Like at some point,
I would
my
argue that
daughter
you
will.
should
It's
end
going to
it.
end at 15. That's.
I should end it. Why?
Well, I mean, I've come to believe because my kids, I think, look at me like that also, and I feel like as a parent.
But you
one
were
of-
somebody.
So are you. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I
Your
think
dad, man.
as a parent, one of the best things you can do is like expose your children to the fact that you fail also. And I've realized that when like I gloss over whatever I've put together for the kids or whatever accomplishments we have or whatever things we have, I gloss over it and just like, hey, this is the final product. Like I'm doing them a disservice so that when they run into like hard times, they can think back to like, that trip we went on last week, that wasn't so easy. Dad got angry too, but he fought through it. Like I feel like the best thing you can do, it's the hardest thing to do because your kids are the last place on earth where people are like, hey, you're perfect, because your kids kind of do look at you like that. But the sooner you can burst that bubble, I think the healthier it is for them.
I don't want to burst up. I want someone to appreciate me, and it's just my daughters. so I don't want to have no one appreciate me.
Dominique, let me explain this to you. It takes care of itself, okay? So eventually, like, your kids are going to look at you like you're a superhero for many, many years. And then they'll start to figure stuff out on their own and realize you're a complete dope, okay? And all you'll have left, and they'll call you names and they'll yell at you and they won't respect you. And all you will have left is your opportunity to embarrass them at every turn. I am telling you, I did it at sleepaway camp. I would take my shirt off. I would run down the dock. My kids were mortified. I'd do a cannonball right into the lake. I mean, that's what you do.
I went outside.
That's retaliation.
I went outside into my yard the other day, and we set up one of those those water things that you attach to the hose because my daughter wanted to play
Like a
outside.
slip and slide kind of thing.
No, this was like closer to like those like wavy people. This was like one of those, and it had water shooting out of his head and his arms, right?
Nice.
So she liked seeing those when we would drive by like mattress stores and stuff. So I found one that had water like at Walmart, so I got it. So we've never set it up. She just always sees it in the laundry room and wants to do it. So we finally did it the other day, right? And I was like, I'm not super proud of the way I look at this moment. And I was wearing, it was in my yard, and I have chain link fences around it. So, like, my neighbors can see into my yard from two of the sides. So I was like, yeah, I was wearing, like, a long sleeve, like, water shirt in my own yard.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Yeah, because I could have gotten some vitamin D, which I'm lacking out there that day.
Show your tummy to the kids. They deserve to see the tummy.
I feel like my kids are like the only ones that won't judge my tummy.
Yeah,
My
so
daughter,
why are you
actually,
hiding it?
she plays my tummy like a drum sometime. It's super cute. I'll lay down and I'll start it, and then she comes and she'll lift up my shirt and she'll do that. And then she also does the fart thing. You know the fart thing, where you go and you do a
You
little.
just call it farting?
No. Like you go and you get like,
raspberry.
a little blow on.
Oh,
the
yeah.
And you do like a fart. She'll come up and just give me a fart on my tummy sometimes. I'm like, ah. But at the same time, I'm like, I wish I didn't have this tummy for you to play like a drum and fart on.
You're supposed to give the raspberries to the kids.
I did, and she learned it. And she said, "Oh, you know who else has a tummy? Daddy. Let me do farts on his tummy."
Greg, when did Chris stop, or is he still giving you tummy raspberries?
He stopped doing that, but I can speak from
A week ago.
experience.
Yeah.
He never stopped being embarrassed by me.
Yeah.
You know, he's 36
You
now,
don't say.
I think. Yeah, I mean, it goes on and on. You know?
Was it intentional? Like, were you like Stugotz? Did you intentionally embarrass him?
No, I didn't actually, but he just interpreted stuff I did as embarrassing. Like, for example, when I'm the PFPI commissioner and I'm in a suit and tie, you know, making a speech at the PFPI gala.
Used to be cute.
To him, that's embarrassing.
Right.
I can't figure out why, but, you know.
I think it's when you see too much of yourself and your parents, and you start to kind of project out the things that you don't like about you that they've impacted.
Is that
So
what Chris is doing right
I think
there?
Chris
He's saying
sees
one
a
day I'm
little
going
bit
to
of
make
his future.
One day I'm going to make that speech.
Can we do like a quick like little group therapy session? How do you feel when you come on Tuesdays? Because I feel like Chris is kind of hard on you.
Chris
lot
is a
of
bully.
time. Yeah, okay, I didn't want to say it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a bully. He's like that on my own podcast, The Greg Cote Show.
Really?
Yeah, a new episode out every Monday. The latest one is great, but this is parenthetical.
Who's on it, Greg?
We have Field Yates.
Nice.
Ooh,
wow.
big star.
Fantasy football time.
Color over there.
That kind of thing.
He's a baby who has a baby. He doesn't look like he should have kids. He looks like he
True, yeah.
just
He is a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18-month-old, I think he has.
So let's get to the bottom of this
He
situation.
just had
with-
another one too, I think.
I think he did, yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of this situation where
had
your
him
son
on.
is a bully.
No, he's that's our relationship.
That's your love language.
Yeah, we
abuse.
give each other shit, and and that's just the way it is. And we're like,
When did that start, though, Greg? Like,
I think it's always been like that. It has. You know, like I used to announce his high school baseball games, and he would be mortified by some of the songs I would play because, you know, they weren't pre-approved by him. You know, so he's always found a reason to kind of shake his head and go, God, Dad.
what songs would you play?
I remember I played a song called Algebra by Soul Hooligan, and he was mortified by it.
Give us a little bit. I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should play it. Yeah.
I'm sure that we can't. It's probably we
I
don't have the
bet you
rights to it, so you got to give us a little sing.
It's not really a song that I can sing.
Oh.
It's not like a single.
Too many N-words.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. with that.
No, but there is a little language in there.
Definitely
no N-word. Are you kidding me?
No, that was the most nervous. Even on February and August, it get uncomfortable.
Speaking of that.
Speaking of what?
N-word?
Speaking of what?
Speaking of N-words.
Let's
Whoa!
wait.
No! I stop it. ISO, clear out. Give this man space.
I'm going to tell you what happened to me that embarrassed me. When I was calling his games at Piper High School, when he was a coach by this time, and I was up on the dugout.
Do we have a delay? Do we have a delay just in case?
This is live on
No,
YouTube.
very much live.
I let the players give me a 20-second snippet of the song they wanted to play.
All the players or just certain players?
Just the players who were in the lineup, who I would be announcing.
Okay, got it.
You know,
The starters.
walk-up songs. Walk-up songs.
Just making sure.
And unfortunately, I did not pre-screen their selections. And one of the players gave me a song that aired once and had inappropriate language in it. And you know, the AD blasted me, and it was just an ugly situation. And that's why I would rather embarrass Christopher with my song selection, knowing that they're at least appropriate, than allow the kids to give me a song that they happen to like that is not something to be played over a PA system.
So you didn't pre-check these songs, eh?
No.
What song was it?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. But I was mortified.
Give us a little bit of it.
I'm like, did I hear what I just heard? No, I was absolutely mortified.
Let me hear some of them lyrics.
Yes.
No.
I also don't like that Chris call you Greg when he come in here. Like,
Yeah,
what
have
is that
some
about?
respect.
Like,
Does he?
Come on. Yes.
I don't think I even noticed that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have a second
He's
son.
a bully, though.
You have a second son, Michael, correct?
Yes.
Is this like a theme that's carried on from son to son? Like, is your other son treat you the same way? Because then it's not for show, because the show's not on.
Right. No, Michael and I have a little bit more of what I would call a typical father-son relationship.
Oh, you love him more, huh?
Whereas, no.
He's your favorite.
Whereas Christopher and I are what we are on the air and what we are on my podcast. We just have that relationship. You know, almost like Christopher and I behave like a couple of buddies more than a father-son dynamic, which I don't mind. You know, I wasn't one of those dads who like wanted to be, I'm not your dad, just think of me as your friend. You know, I was never into that, and I'm not now, but it's fine with me that it's evolved that way.
Who's your favorite, Greg?
Yeah.
Just, come on.
It's, you know, I'll go to my grave with that one.
So Michael.
Yeah, it's clearly
And
Michael.
speaking of my grave, I try to get Christopher to promise me that PFPI tradition will live on beyond me, and he won't do it. He won't even give me that parting gift. So we'll see.
You won't even give your wife the parting gift of not wearing that damn shirt.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
Potato.
They're going to bury
exactly
you in
right.
that thing?
I bet you Michael will. I mean,
It could be.
Probably.
It could be.
I got to be honest with
Favorite
you guys. There's nothing scarier to me than when Greg Cote hits you with a speaking of. Because in this segment, he hit us with a speaking of the grave and
Yes.
speaking of the N-word, guys. Oh, that was a nervous moment in the history of this show. That was close. It was touch and go there for a second, guys.
That was-
Touch and
but
go.
you let him go.
Oh, yeah.
ISO.
Yeah, I did call ISO.
Yeah.
ISO.
Now,
'Cause
you were nervous.
I was nervous for you. If
Oh.
I'm going to let an elderly white man say, speaking of the N-word, one thing I'm not going to do is dive in front of that train.
What was great is that he said, speaking of the N-word, and everyone gave him a second to clarify. You said, speaking of what? And he said, oh, speaking of the N-word.
Double down.
I mean, it was the most embarrassing moment of my life in terms of speaking into a microphone and broadcasting.
Was this done intentionally by the player? Like, was this a setup, or was this just bad judgment by this child?
I think it was bad judgment. You know, a lot of the players on the team enjoyed, you know, hip hop and rap music and everything. And one of the lyrics given me was a little R-rated. And it's the one and only time I've ever not screened something that I was going to
What
play
high
on the
school?
PA system. Piper High.
Piper, who were you playing against?
I don't remember.
What city?
Did you really expect me to remember who we were
Oh,
playing
I didn't know.
against?
I did see the
Surprised
most
you remember
embarrassing,
Piper.
most
Hot shot,
embarrassing
hit foul.
moment in
What's-
the history of your public life. I
It
thought you
was.
might remember it. It might be burned in your memory.
No.
What city was it in?
Sunrise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A little worried.
Yeah, I was concerned.
We were all looking for the word plantation,
That's
Greg.
it. That's all we wanted.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to be transparent, that's
It's
what was
nearby.
happening.
It's nearby, though. It's nearby.
Okay.
It's always nearby. Oh, man. So, lessons learned.
Yes.
Guys, hey, screen your music before you play it. Don't trust a 16-year-old boy. That's a good lesson to always live by, which is one of the reasons why I'm nervous today. Not only is it carrying the burden of sitting in Dan's sweaty chair, it's also with a lot of guys around me. And I've come to realize last week when I was in here, I look around for approval on the subjects that we're going on, and I always found that the women that were in here, they would give me the look like, hey, and all the guys are like, keep going, keep going. So, speaking of the N-word, I'm nervous for the rest of the day because that's where we started, and not that it's their responsibility, but they tend to have better judgment than us, and I miss them already.
Also, speaking of the N-word, I got some new music coming out soon, so stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We outside in the streets. Also featuring Jessica Smetana.
Ooh,
Wow.
spitting. All right. So I was trying to get to a topic about parenting, I think, earlier. And I've come to realize that parenting, at least for me, being a dad, is like 50% performance, and my dad didn't tell me that. Like half my life, I'm acting like something is more interesting than it is, acting like something's funnier than it is, acting like something's more beautiful than it is, pretending like I feel like playing this game, pretending like I want to put on a tutu when I really just want to go to sleep. Like it's just so much performance. I did not realize that a part of my life was going to be, like I just thought, like I provide for them and I'm there for the tough times, talk them through the tough times, but like day to day, and just getting off vacation too last week or the week before last, we were away, and it's not a vacation, as all parents know. I don't know if it's all dads or just all parents, probably all parents. Vacation is just a trip. For us, it's vacation. For them, it's just so much effort. But I guess you vacation with your adult son, Greg Cote, so it's not the same, huh?
Well, when they were kids, there was nothing more tiring than a full day at Disney World with two kids who were like, 4 and 8 or whatever.
Exhausting.
We are absolutely. I'm never more tired than the evening after a day at Disney World. But you are right about performance and pretending. Like we had our granddaughter over the weekend, and she loves to do puzzles. So, Pop, do a puzzle with me. And so for 45 minutes, which felt like 2 hours, I'm piecing together with her a Barbie puzzle. I'm not a puzzle guy. Like, put a crayon in my hand. I love a coloring book. Like, I will go to town with crayons, but puzzles are not for me. But she loves it, and so you have to pretend.
Therefore, you love it.
Therefore, I love it. I love the time with her.
Right.
But the actual
Activity.
puzzle itself, I'm like, isn't there something else we can play?
How many pieces was this puzzle?
I think it was like 100.
2 hours for a
Wow.
100-piece puzzle.
It was like this big, like
Huh.
a rectangle.
Do you like complete the puzzle if you find the missing piece, or you try to like guide her like, oh, that one looks like it might fit over there?
You know what? My wife taught me the strategy of doing a puzzle because she's really into puzzles. And like the strategy is you start with the edges or the corners, and then you work inward.
Work your way in.
Yeah, and I
Inward.
like it,
Inward.
It makes. What did I say?
Speaking of the N-word,
Oh,
Speaking of inward.
Inward. But I'm bad at puzzles. I'm just not a puzzler.
Are you lamenting how much you lie to your children? Is that what is going on here with you?
It's not even that how much
we lie to our children. That's what we do.
I don't know. I mean, I agree. Sometimes you just have to mislead them a little bit. But I think that I just, as an introvert, and we talked about this earlier, how you are kind of always performing a little bit. You want a time not to perform. And then I realized with my kids, it's so much more performance than I ever anticipated. And it's like, even when they do something wrong that doesn't make me that angry, it's like I have to be stern. And it's not even like yelling. It's like, I have to be really upset about them crossing the street right now without looking both ways, even though nothing happened. But because I need them to know that this is not something that's okay to do.
But I mean, in you talking about that, it sort of feels like that's just what our jobs are here, right? Like I have to pretend to care about Miami football recruiting rankings when Mike talks about it, right? Like we have to do that with each other all the time. So I don't know.
You hear that laugh?
Been doing it with Dan for 20 years.
Yeah, the king.
There it is.
We got the king dad of the year right here.
Speaking of dads, you know what I mean? All y'all are dads. All y'all got beautiful, beautiful babies and sons. We should come up with a Metal Art Media coloring book because there's 1,000 people out here listening that has kids just like y'all.
That is a great idea.
Let them color. You
Good
feel
idea.
me? Carl, COB.
What a great idea.
COB.
$1 billion idea
80-20.
Slack, maybe?
80-20 your way?
I mean, hey, you said it, not me.
First thing in the coloring book is the chair that you have on your shirt. That is page 1 because, again, February and August. It's celebrated.
Never forget.
So, Greg, what are you guys planning?
For what? What do you mean?
I mean, I know y'all not just going to let that slide. What y'all planning? You didn't go to the meeting?
Revenge
No.
tour.
Nothing? Y'all don't got no plan?
No, I didn't go to the meeting. I apologize.
Oh, no, you don't got to apologize. I'm glad that you did go to the meeting.
No, Greg's at the cookout, so
Oh, my bad. My bad. You can't go to the meeting in the cookout.
I'm going to the cookout. I don't know when it is, but I'll be there. I love a cookout. Nobody loves a cookout like me.
Nobody.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I don't. Boston Butt is the only thing I do, and it takes like 7 or 8 hours.
Yo.
So it's never going to be in a competition because it takes too long, right, Roy?
Brother,
No. It could be in a competition
Can it?
because those barbecue competitions they last all day. Trust
Okay,
me.
okay, good.
Greg Cote be cooking Thanksgiving turkey barefoot with that grease smacking in his feet.
Damn right.
That thing be
Absolutely.
popping.
Hell
That
yeah.
I'm not doing.
Drop that thing in the oil. Unbelievable that. You spend
yo.
you spend 4 times more money on the oil than you do on the bird. It's crazy. It's such a waste of money to deep fry a turkey, but there's nothing like it.
It's so good.
Oh my God. It's the
How do you prepare a Boston butt?
I season it is deep red when I put it in my big green egg because I have seasoned it with sort of my own homemade Cajun spice, and then I cut it in half so that it cooks in half the time. Yeah, I've perfected the Boston butt. I will say it's something I'm actually proud to serve as the Boston butt. My ribs average good, but the Boston butt, it's like I invented it.
Do you take out the money muscle on the Boston butt?
No.
There's a money muscle that runs opposite of the bone area. That's what you usually turn into the judges at a barbecue competition.
Really?
Yeah, it's the best part of the Boston butt.
See, when I cook a Boston butt, they're all the best part, Roy.
Of course.
Yeah, every bite.
We have found Roy's wheelhouse. I mean,
That kind of thing.
Exactly, and you know it.
I was in a barbecue competition in Key West a couple of weekends ago. Actually, it was a fishing, lobstering, and barbecue competition.
Nice.
Over 3 days. And we ended up being second overall in the actual barbecue competition.
You had a team?
Yeah, there was a team. Dave Williamson, who's a comic, who's a friend of the show, who's a fan of the show, he invited me down to Key West to be a part of his team. And the judges voted us number 1 in ribeye, salmon, and baby back ribs. So we did pretty well against professional pitmasters.
excellent.
Oh, good
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
A triathlon of
Why can't you pick a thing? Why does it have to be 3 things?
That's what they gave us. They gave us 4 proteins. The other one was picanha, I believe that's
yeah.
pronounced.
And you caught a shark. What didn't you catch a shark?
You
I
barbecued
did.
the shark?
No, we didn't barbecue. No, it was
Oh.
catch and release on that one.
Nice. Kick saving the butte.
Thank you. Very quickly, by the way.
What do you do with the salmon?
It was mango salsa that went with the salmon. We put it on the big green egg, and I believe we put a little glaze on there. So it was pretty good.
Excellent.
Don't sound as good as the butt.
We didn't cook butt. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll make a butt, pull it, and bring it in sometime.
All right.
make sure it's when I'm here. I want to get a taste of Greg's butt.
There you go.
Yo.
Line up, get in line. I'm telling you, for that honor.
To taste your butt?
Yeah,
It's a long line, huh?
it is a long line. It's the long and winding line.
Whoa.
I don't want to taste your butt, big bruh.
Don't say that until you have.
Don't knock it till you tried it,
Damn
Juju. Man. You don't know what you like? Oh, man. So I'm at this point in my life where your parents are a lot more reliant on you. I feel like this might be something that Stu can understand a little bit more, especially now that your father probably needs more of your attention than he has in the past. And it shifts quickly. I think this is why I came to the point where I feel like the sooner you can show your weaknesses to your children, the better off you can be. Because I was like in college before I was like, oh, my parents aren't right about everything. And that, I think, was a mistake. And I could save my children that realization and also help them, like, understand that we fall short. Because I think that was one of the stresses for me coming up. It's like, I can't fail here because, like, we don't fail. That's not what we do. But it's nice to be able to look around and the people you look up to and be like, hey, they fail and they bounce back. Because, I mean, whenever you watch a documentary, the story, the important part of the story is where the person kind of falters and bounces back from it. That's the lesson you can learn from it. So I don't know. I see that with my parents now where it's like they need more and more attention and decision making. And my mom is smart, which has made it, she's like aware of it. So she doesn't try anymore. She's like, hey, I'm too old for this. I'm going to need you to handle this for me. And that just like makes me nervous.
I haven't gotten there with my dad yet. He has so much pride. He is filled with so much pride, and he is fighting his age so much. He looks great. He's in great shape. But, like, I want him to stop driving. Mm-hmm. And having that conversation with it never goes well. It lasts a couple of minutes. He yells at me, and I move on to something else. Like, he is not taking my advice right now.
I noticed, so my dad runs a 10-mile marathon once a year, and I keep thinking about, I ran it with him once. It's not a marathon, a 10-miler once a year. And I ran it with him once, and he's getting up there, getting close to 70, and he keeps doing it. And I'm like, because I think with those type of things, you also don't want to stop them because once you stop, things start to deteriorate faster. And, like, we're not near deterioration because he's running 10 miles.
But I think that's a good thing. He's running 10 miles still. He wants to still do it. It certainly improves his health. But with my dad, like, he drives. I'm afraid he's going to get in an accident because – he usually does. Like, I gave my car for 4 days. It came back with 3 dents in it. I'm like, Dad, what'd you do? He's like, nothing.
I had a friend.
Nothing.
I had a friend whose grandfather was like getting up in age, and they took the keys away from him at a certain point. It was a difficult conversation. But before they did that, the guy made like 50 copies of the key and had them hidden throughout the house.
That's a cagey vet.
And
That's great.
after he passed, they, I guess, like sold the house or whatever. So they were cleaning things up. And as they were cleaning up, they kept finding more and more hidden keys that he had throughout the house that he used to continue to drive after they took away his keys.
My dad is turning 65 years old. He is still a longshoreman. I'm like, you need to retire.
Damn.
Retire.
65 is not that old.
As a longshoreman, though? No, man. Like, you got to retire now, man.
I think it's important what you said earlier about seeing your parents be human because I've never seen my parents be human until it was too late. I was so embarrassed. I fell on hard times in life. I was sleeping outside behind Hooters, behind different places because I was embarrassed to tell my perfect mom that I'm broke and I messed up. And whenever I finally got around to telling her, she was like, bruh, I messed up this time. So what you said is very important for your kids to not see you as this superpower so they can come to you in times of vulnerability.
You got to be approachable. So we've established I'm the best dad here because I said that, and Juju agreed with me. I may not be the best host because I got a little bit of
Stugotz in you?
I got a little bit of Stugotz happening.
wow.
Yeah,
My
lean
man.
into it, baby.
Speaking of the N-word,
Boston butt. So part of responsibilities in this chair is to be the force that tries to drag us back towards sports at all times. I've done an awful job of that so far. So I'm going to correct that.
I went fishing, though. So
Oh, you did. Thank
you
you.
go.
Thank you. You did fish.
That
You
is
did
sport,
fish.
yeah.
That's a sport,
And Greg told us about the time where he was doing the PA system at baseball games. That was a baseball story.
Two different sports.
This seems, Greg, and I mean this lovingly, it seems like it was not that difficult to trick you with that song. Like, it seems like you were an easy mark for that. Like, you were too trusting of those around you.
So do you think that it was an intentional plant?
It might have been, because I'm thinking back to, like, the days of, like, certain substitute teachers that are like, we can get away with certain things with this substitute teacher if we just ask, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you have, like, a teacher that like, I don't really want to read this thing today in class. Like, if we just get them going about themselves, we are, like, golden for a good, like, 20 minutes less class today. And then you just have, like, the follow-up questions that will kind of set the teacher off and go in certain directions. It seems like that may have been the thing. Like, you were too nice to these kids, and they knew they could take advantage.
You know what? Upon reflection, I think there's a real plausibility to that. The idea that a couple of kids are in the dugout yucking it up, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to make this my walk-up song. And wait till you see the look on his face when that comes on. And that is exactly how it worked.
All right, I got a quick assignment for you guys in the shipping container. What song has the best, like, first line for a walk-up? If you're trying to get Greg Cote in trouble, what's the song that starts off the most aggressively? While you guys are doing that, I was reminded that we went into that story. We enjoyed that story thoroughly, but we didn't do our proper journalistic duty in asking some more follow-up questions. So the person who gave you the song, I mean, how'd his parents get to this country? That's what I need to know.
Already got the song. Hail Mary by Tupac.
Oh.
I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
That's a good one.
I got a song. It's Yo Gotti featuring Rich Homie Quan. Google it on your own.
I'm a bit afraid to do that.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. So, racial identity of the kid that gave you the song.
I don't recall who it was.
Oh, you're covering for him.
Christopher might. He might. He was the third base coach, I think, at the time. And but he was probably less embarrassed by that than by some of my my clean musical selections.
Wait,
So,
he was the third base coach, so you continued being a PA announcer after Chris was done playing?
I did. Which looking back, I'm like, why? Why did I do
You
that?
enjoyed it. That's why.
I did.
What do you mean?
I enjoyed it. You know.
It's another N-word, I think, is why. Narcissism.
I did like announcing games. I did.
I was just reminded of another potential song that could have been C Murder F. Well, Google it on your own. C Murder's the most popular song.
Pretty much any
One of my
C Murder
favorites.
track.
Yeah.
Oh, C Murder got out, didn't he?
Speaking of C Murder, Dalvin Cook to the Jets.
There we go.
What is that about? Do you think they're going to be the mans themselves, or is this too
Is
much?
this you trying to drag it back to sports? Because
I'm
I'm perfectly
dragging it.
comfortable where we are. I mean,
Greeny said that the
C Murder?
Jets. Greeny said that the Jets are the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. Do
That's
we believe
ridiculous.
that?
Wow.
No. I mean, the biggest threat is the Ravens, in my view. I think at this point, the Ravens, assuming the offense is suitable for Lamar Jackson, which he seems to like it, to spread them out and attack everywhere. Like before, what they would do is condense their formation and essentially say, we're going to run the ball. Can you guys stop it? And the answer is most times no. Now their strategy is more like, we're going to put a bunch of receivers out there, spread them out there, and you pick where you're going to help. Are you going to help on Zay Flowers? Are you going to help on Odell Beckham Jr.? Are you going to load the box to be concerned against Lamar's run? Oh,
it's about time they did this.
we got Mark Andrews also, and J.K. Dobbins if he wants to play, and a really good offensive line. So now I think this makes for a more dangerous offense. It's less defense friendly, I think. It was really nice to have as a defense an offense that's going to kill the clock and get 13 first downs. There might be some big plays that put the defense out there and some turnovers that do the same thing, but I like this idea a lot better.
I don't even know if the Jets are the second best team in the division. I think that they're just poised and prime to disappoint. I really do, because the hype with Aaron Rodgers is such that expectations now are sky high. And
Yeah, but he doesn't care about that. I mean,
know.
Aaron Rodgers has lived with expectations his entire career.
Sure he has, but the outside expectations that they may
No.
be the biggest challenge to KC, I think is a little crazy.
Well, that's Greeny saying it.
Right. But he's not
No one
alone.
else is saying it.
Well, he's not alone.
That defense is for real.
There's also a difference
secondary is, yeah.
in expectations when you're Aaron Rodgers being a Jet versus being a Packer, and that those expectations that came with being a Packer were all simply because of his greatness. And if that team flopped, oftentimes it wasn't going to be blame placed on Aaron Rodgers. It was going to be, look at what the front office didn't do, or look at the running game that doesn't exist, or look at the defense that doesn't exist.
Even though he had
year
some
after
bad
year after
NFC
year.
championship games for the Packers. You're right, though.
Right, and so
Yes.
those expectations were there in large part because we appreciated Aaron Rodgers' greatness. That's why the expectations are in New York, but they've done everything to surround him with a great team. He's going there, and now expectations are higher from national media, and when we look at national media, oftentimes that's located, centered in New York. So there's all of these Jets fans who are leading the charge.
And to that point, he's going from the smallest market in the NFL to the largest. And Aaron Rodgers can be a little thin-skinned, like when things aren't going right. And so if the Jets start off 1-3,
Which they could.
and he's thrown a couple of picks, could be very, very interesting.
The schedule is very, very difficult.
The beginning of
Brutal.
the schedule,
Yeah.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, just as a reminder.
Oh,
you feel
boy.
me? So there's that.
Well said.
Yeah.
You said they're not the second best team in the division. So
Right.
are you prepared to give your division rankings, or is that embargoed for the Greg Cote show where you give official?
No,
Ooh.
Just give the
it's-
top three.
It's very simple. It's Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, and then New England. It's I feel pretty strongly about that.
Zagak.
Yeah, thank you.
You're not sweating the Dolphins not getting Dalvin Cook.
No. Raheem Mostert is good. Like, you look at his career track record. He averaged like 5 yards a carry last year. He's not the problem. Their problem is the commitment to the run. I think they were 5th from the bottom in run-pass ratio last year. And if they run the ball more, and Mostert is going to become a star, and they're going to take some heat off Tua, keep him healthy by not subjecting him to as many sacks. And I think it really benefits them to become more of a balanced offense, which they're very capable of doing with their running back room.
So you're no concern about losing Jalen Ramsey in the defense, because I think the defense is going to be integral, obviously, to make him a deep running playoff. That was the team that I picked to win the division. I have the Dolphins above even the Bills,
Right.
which may surprise some.
I think losing Jalen Ramsey for probably more than half a season is a huge blow. I mean, he was their big addition, like Tyreek Hill was the year before. That's a huge loss for them, but I think they can withstand it. I think, Mina Kimes said recently that she thinks the Dolphins have one of the top 5 rosters in the league for overall talent. I agree with her.
And Jeff Wilson also. They didn't never need Dalvin Cook in my opinion.
Yeah.
They got Jeff Wilson. He's a number one in certain teams. So salute to the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
but Mostert is a good back, but he gets hurt pretty often. Like every year,
Right.
Mostert's going to miss 4 or 5 games. I love where the Jets have arrived. That's why it's one of the many reasons you go out and acquire or get a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Dalvin Cook never wants to come to the Jets on a 1-year deal.
He still didn't want to come to the Jets on a 1-year
Yeah, but
deal.
you know what? It was the best offer and probably in his mind the best chance to win a Super Bowl. It's like, all right, let me try this Aaron Rodgers thing out for a year and let's see what happens in New York. You know?
I think he just wanted to be on Hard Knocks. Just full disclosure.
Maybe.
He's a look at me a little way. He wanted to be on TV with Aaron Rodgers, but hey,
Guys,
you didn't hear it here.
you're dismissing Dalvin Cook. He's averaged
No.
5 yards a carry
No
for his
one's
career.
dismissing him. It just feels like it's settling season. You know what I mean? Like we're like a couple weeks now into training camp. It's like I got to sign somewhere, and players are just starting to settle on teams that they didn't want to go to. Is what it feels like.
Especially running backs.
Yeah, especially at that position. And he's 28, which is young for just about every position, and like middle-aged for a running back.
Right.
You mentioned Hard
End of
Knocks.
his career.
Yeah.
The one thing that was missing from Hard Knocks is the sad story where they get us all attached to some edge of the roster guy and they cut him. They didn't have that. I guess it's nice to not have that, to like exploit that like painful moment for a player. But
You don't think it's coming? That moment?
They exploited Liv Shriver, the host. They made him look goofy as hell.
It's weird. Yeah.
I don't like the exploitation, and I remember Vontae Davis stands out, a guy that you guys are familiar with down here, when he got traded and he was crying. He had to call his grandma, and I thought that was probably a little gratuitous. We didn't have to do all that in his life. It was embarrassing and uncomfortable. But generally, I like to remind everybody of that part of football. I like to remind everybody how passionate the players are and how half the players that we're watching are not going to make the team. They're going to have to go somewhere else and figure something out. And I didn't see it in the first episode. I don't want, as much as I enjoyed the first episode of Hard Knocks, I don't want Hard Knocks to be without that painful, uncomfortable portion that we all kind of hate seeing, but reminds us that
you want to see
stakes.
someone's dream die.
Yeah, I do. I know I'm
part of it.
I know I'm supposed to be ashamed of that, but I'm not. I do. It's not that I want to see someone's dream die. I want y'all to see someone's dream die because I think that we
You're doing it for us, huh?
Yeah, it's for you.
Yeah.
We glorify anyone who's ever put on a jersey to NFL. It's like, oh, they're in NFL. Life's good for them, or professional sports. I guess we don't hear. I think people with this show know better than that. But by and large, most fans do. So I like to remind them, you know what? It's really hard, and it really sucks for lots of players.
I agree. I think if Hard Knocks does nothing more than really humanize players and let people know that it's all not just going to the bank with a wad of money.
Right.
There's a disappointing side to the NFL for a lot of players.
Who would be, you guys know the Grim Reaper, the guy who goes around and tells the player who's going to get cut, Coach got to speak to you. Of the people in here right now.
Bring your playbook.
Yeah. Who's most well
That would be it.
It's Roy. Yeah. Roy's most well equipped to say. Yeah. So Roy's walking around the locker room and everybody's getting nervous.
Yeah.
There'd be no one left.
Bring your playbook. Coach want to see you. Bring your iPad.
Roy would just do it though to people that he wanted to mess with, right? He'd be like, "Coach wants to see you." Oh crap, I don't have a job. And then you show up and you're like, "Yeah, Roy said to see you." I didn't ask to see you.
I'm a very petty person.
Yeah, and bring your mama. That's what he was saying.